Galatz is a region with relatively low seismic activity, and earthquake swarms like the current events are only known from the newspapers in other regions and countries. Residents and seismologists are very surprised and are trying to understand what is happening. The Galatz area in Romania is experiencing dozens of earthquakes up to a magnitude of 3.8 on the Richter scale. The quakes have an extremely shallow depth, have a relatively high shaking intensity, and are causing a lot of damage in the villages near the epicenter areas, like a constant sound of boiling water coming from the ground, and a strange water smell like sulfur is being noticed.
South Dakota's Governor Dennis Daugaard and Senator John Thune toured the western part of their state by helicopter Thursday to see the extent of damage to the region from last weekend's blizzard. The aerial assessment focused on livestock losses. State officials estimate at least 10 to 20,000 head of livestock died in the storm. Some ranchers report losing 50% or more of their cattle. The storm dumped up to 4 feet of snow in areas of South Dakota over the weekend, setting records, damaging buildings, shutting down schools, and bringing transportation to a halt.
Here a tornado strikes Nebraska.
Nebraska. The National Weather Service in Nebraska says a farmhouse has been destroyed. Farm animals running loose right now along the highway. Vehicles flipped upside down. The storm and now apparently moving north of Sioux City, Iowa.
More than 1,000 minor earthquakes have been picked up by sensors on the Diornes Fissure zone in northeast Iceland in the past few days. The earthquake swarm, which began on Thursday, is still ongoing, is not considered likely to lead to more serious activity. They occur in a very limited area at a depth of 9 to 13 kilometres, that's 6 to 8 miles. They are of a similar magnitude, the largest quakes measured around 3. Such activity strongly indicates an intrusion which is in Australia's Northern Territory. They've had the hottest dry season on record. It's exceeded any other known dry season measurements. It's blistering, stinking hot. October the 12th, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Venezuela. Parts of Guyana shook last night in the aftermath of a 6 Richter scale earthquake just offshore from Sucre, Venezuela, and about 87 kilometres west of Port of Spain in neighbouring Trinidad and Tobago. At around 10:15, the effects of the earthquake could be felt here, and persons from across the country reported feeling the tremors. Already this month is reading like a horror story. Here we have a 6.4 magnitude earthquake strikes the seafloor south of Greece, October the 12th. An earthquake of 6.4 magnitude was detected in the Mediterranean Sea west of the island of Crete on Saturday, but there were no reports of casualties or damage. The Greek police and fire brigade said the centre of the quake, which struck at 13:11 GMT, was 22.5 miles below the seabed, 43 miles west of Chania on Crete. October the 13th, in Saudi Arabia, the Jabal Zubair volcano erupts in the Red Sea. As of today, the submarine eruption continued with the production of a steam plume of variable size, not always easily identifiable on satellite image. So, all sorts of occurrences. New Zealand's White Island volcano erupts again. Now this was on Friday night about 8 o'clock after it had erupted previously about a week before. And the eruption threw mostly mud rather than ash into the air. Alaska's Vaniaminoff volcano erupts and sends traces of ash over 2 Alaskan communities. Now, this is from Anchorage. It's October the 12th, and it sent a trace of ash falling on communities up to about 35 miles away. The plumes usually travel only a few miles from the volcano, but the communities of Chignik Lake and Chignik Lagoon reported trace ash on Friday. Now, this is in India, 14th, the cyclone. Officials in India say almost 250,000 houses have been damaged by Cyclone Phelan, which hit the nation's east coast over the weekend. The cyclone is the strongest to hit India in 14 years. Around 1 million people were evacuated and forced to take refuge in shelters and public buildings as the cyclone flattened flimsy houses and uprooted trees. 14 people have been killed, 13 in Orissa State and 1 in Andhra Pradesh. A total of 17 deaths from this devastating cyclone.
So a powerful earthquake has struck the central Philippines. It's killed 6 people, injured many others, according to civil defense officials. The quake, magnitude 7.2, has been followed by strong aftershocks. The epicenter was beneath the island of Bohol and close to the country's 5th biggest city, Cebu, which is a popular tourist destination. Officials quoted in local media are saying 4 people died when a fish market collapsed. Several other buildings on both Bohol and Cebu Islands are also reported damaged, including hospitals and churches. The quake has been followed by several strong aftershocks. Earthquakes are common in the Philippines. It lies along a fault line. There are tsunami warnings for some parts of the Philippines and for northern parts of Indonesia. But officials do say any tsunamis will not be life-threatening.
This devastating earthquake has now killed almost 100 people in the province of Cebu in the Philippines. Tuesday, October the 15th, Typhoon Nari hits Vietnam, 122,000 people evacuated. Now, trees were knocked down and hundreds of houses were damaged in central Vietnam early on Tuesday. And Nari later hit the Vietnamese coast with wind speeds of up to 102 km. October the 16th, a powerful typhoon moved up Japan's Pacific coast, bringing heavy wind and strong rains and caused mudslides that killed at least 14 people. Typhoon Weaver did its worst damage in Oshima Island, south of Tokyo. People say at least 50 people there are missing, and the Fukushima nuclear plant didn't appear to suffer any damage at all. The plant's operators did not report any abnormal radiation levels as the storm approached. The storm was at one point packing winds of up to 180 kilometers per hour. And here's a clip here from China where a bridge is seen to collapse, throwing all the occupants into the river. I believe the bridge was constructed of bamboo and there were no fatalities. Animals are dying off in large numbers in parts of the United States of America.
An ongoing trend of declining moose populations across North America has left scientists stumped as to why so many moose continue to die every year. In Minnesota, a once thriving population has been almost completely wiped out over the last 20 years. Higher than usual death rates have also been reported in Montana, New Hampshire, and British Columbia. The specific causes vary from area to area, but the most common threat among them tends to be climate change. Warmer and longer fall seasons have led to a significant rise in bugs detrimental to moose's health. In New Hampshire, many have perished from the effects of parasitic ticks. Beetles in British Columbia have destroyed much of the forests inhabited by the moose, leaving the animals vulnerable to predators. brainworms and liver flukes are reportedly out in droves in Minnesota. In addition to being concerned about the survival of the animals themselves, many ecologists are worried about the wildlife their existence supports. Area economies are vulnerable to taking a large hit as well. In New Hampshire alone, sightseeing tours featuring moose in their natural habitats generate over $115 million in revenue annually.
Jellyfish are increasing in our oceans.
Marine experts warn a surge in the number of jellyfish may do more than threaten the health of beachgoers. Experts say more jellyfish is a sign that something is out of balance in the world's oceans because jellyfish flourish when oceans are sick. According to European scientists, a rise in the jellyfish population over the last few decades is threatening the entire marine biodiversity. They're often actually competing with large mammals like whales for food, so they can make an already disrupted food chain an even bigger mess.
This is from the Mail Online, 20th of October. Jellyfish Armageddon. Experts claim creatures are taking over the seas and it might be too late to stop them. Experts claim the jellyfish could be more dangerous than first thought. Now, last week, jellyfish shut down one of the world's largest nuclear reactors. They just blocked it. Scientists believe their increase is down to human activity in the oceans. Jellyfish are 95% water and have no brain, but experts believe that an invasion of jellyfish is just around the corner and it may be too late to stop them.